Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of my Draenei Warrior Let's Play series, where I want to go ahead and get started with this episode by coming up into this area of Azuremyst Isle, and we can go ahead and complete Night Stalker Cleanup IO2, which this is a quest that I picked up last episode where we got the special rune crystal thingy. I forget what exactly it's called, but we can go ahead and kill some of the infected Night Stalker rents who are infected by basically the contamination of the Exodar, as this is a giant ship that crashed here, and the crash and basically everything that leaked from the ship during the after the crash, as it's probably still leaking into the area around here, and it's causing some devastation to the wildlife and also just to the area around here in general. Where the biggest thing that I want to do in this episode is basically continuing to forge our alliances with the native populations of this planet of Azeroth, as we have crashed onto this planet, and we most recently came from Draenei, the orcs' homeworld. And last episode we basically went into the southern half of Azuremyst Isle and we completed all the quests around here, and we have forged our alliance with the alliance, and we are going to go ahead and come to the northern half of the island now and forge our alliance with the Furbolgs of the Stillpine tribe, I believe they're called. But I just leveled up to level 12, which is fun, and I unlocked a few different hints here that I can go ahead and close. And I also unlocked the campaign for the Dragon Isles, and I just got automatically put into this quest, which I want to go ahead and open a quick discussion before we progress further into the episode. For people who are enjoying or just watching this Let's Play series in general, if you would like to see more than just Azuremyst Isle and Bloodmist Isle, because my main goal for this series is just to explore these two zones, but I would definitely be interested in continuing on. And we just got a 6-slot green bag, which is awesome. We have some more bag space now, but I would definitely be interested in continuing on and maybe exploring some of the Burning Crusade zones if people are interested in that as well. Or it seems like some people are definitely interested in this series as a whole, so just let me know down in the comments if you would like to watch more of that. But let's go ahead and come over here and speak with the Exarch, where we can turn in this quest, and we got some reinforced plate boots, which is nice. And now let's go ahead and begin the next big quest chain in this zone that begins with learning the language, where we have Urugu, or sure, let's say it's Urugu, I'm not entirely sure, of the Stillpine here, chatting with one of the Draenei. And we have the totem of Akita, where the Draenei here gave us the Stillpine Furbolg language primer, so we can go ahead and in the matter of 10 seconds basically learn the foundational basics of the Furbolg language, so we can go ahead and communicate with the Furbolg on this island. Where doing so will allow us to begin a ton of different quests. So we have the totem of Akita here, and now we can go ahead and find the totem of Ku using the clues provided to you. So we have the Stillpine ancestor Akita here from the totem of Akita, where this Furbolg urges us to follow him, so we can go ahead and do just that and follow him. And I think we can cheat a little bit by looking on our map, and we can see the totem of Ku is located right up here, where when the Burning Crusade originally released and there weren't any add-ons for these zones just yet, people wouldn't have the privilege of having this system that is implemented into World of Warcraft in the modern day WoW, or systems like Questy, a very, very popular add-on for classic World of Warcraft that is also present for modern World of Warcraft for people who prefer the Questy system over this system. But people would have to follow the clues and would have to follow this character to find out where to go in order to find this totem, which we can see right up here. And this Timber Strider is attacking us, where we unlocked Berserker Rage, Go Berserk, removing and granting immunity to Fear Sap and Incapacitate effects for 6 seconds. So this is nice, especially in PvP. But let's come here to the totem of Ku and complete this quest and find the totem of Tikti using the clues provided to you. So we have the Stillpine ancestor Ku that just spawned, and Ku motions for you to follow him, where he is walking right over here. And we can see we have a quest marker all the way over there, and the Furbolg speaks in this language, Azul Azure Summit, where we have Ghostwalk. You are lifted by the spirits of the forest, you are as light as air. So jump Elos River, find Tikti, and this Stillpine ancestor granted us this ability that will allow us to glide down, where that ancestor transformed into a bird, which is really cool, and he's just flying away. But we landed here and just got the achievement for going down. And there's also a Draenei youngling here, where this is to fall 65 yards without dying, so that's an easy way to get that achievement, I guess. This also grants us water walking, which is nice, and I think we can hop onto our purple Illic and we can go ahead and just ride this away, which is very, very, very nice. But we have the Totem of Tikti, which looks very different than the last two. Let's go ahead and complete this quest. Now we can find the Totem of Yor using the clues provided to us. So we have the Stillpine ancestor Tikti, and it's going to be the same deal as the last two. Let's go ahead and follow this character, and then we may get a special buff, and we'll have to go 750 yards that way in order to complete the next quest. So gaze upon the Kitchkow River, follow Elog to Yor. Where we just got Embrace of the Serpent, swim speed increased by 150%, and water breathing. So this is the river that we came to in episode 1, where we were getting these red snappers and there were murlocs attacking us, and now we can go ahead and just run through this river, where we're pretty close to Vale, where we started our adventures, where this is kind of just like a fun, I don't know, circle through the map, where we started in Azurewatch and we came up here, and now we're here, and now we're going down here, and we can find the Totem of Yor down here, and we can see where that is going to lead us to. So we are getting pretty close here, and it looks like we have to dive down into the water because the Totem of Yor is on the river bed. So let's go ahead and complete that, and now we can find the Totem of Vark using the clues provided to you. So we can just hang out here and see the Stillpine ancestor Yor, who is in a druid aquatic form, it looks like. So come, Athasel, let us leave the water together, purified. And something you may notice as we have been continuing this quest chain is that we are learning more and more about the Furbolg language, where the first ones up here were like we could barely understand anything they were saying, and this one makes a little bit more sense, and now this one makes a lot of sense. Come, Athasel, let us leave the water together, purified. And we can go ahead and come back up here. We're right next to the Venture Company camp, and he just transformed into his normal Furbolg form. We go now, together, we will seek Vark. So he just transformed into a cat, and he transformed us into a cat. And he says, follow me to Vark, and we can go ahead and run after him. And where we have the Shadow of the Forest grants the recipient increased run speed and invisibility. Aura is cancelled upon combat or looting, only works in Azuremyst Isle. So this is kind of like a powerful ability, and we can go ahead and just run all the way to the western end of Azuremyst Isle now. And this has been quite a journey, but here we have the Totem of Vark, and we are at Bristlelim Village, which looks like a Furbolg village, but there's currently no Furbolgs here. Alright, let's go ahead and complete this quest, and now we can free 8 Stillpine captives from cages found in Bristlelim Village, where I feel like there might be a phasing issue going on here or something along those lines, but there should be a lot of Furbolgs already. Oh, is it because we are currently in the shadow of the forest? So let's go ahead and run over here, and let's remove this, and there we go. So we have 2 Furbolg tribes here, Stillpine Furbolgs and Bristlelim Furbolgs, where we were communicating with one of the Stillpine Furbolgs and their ancestors during this quest chain, and it looks like they have an enemy in the Bristlelim. So right now we gotta free 8 of the captives, so let's go ahead and just run all around this area and kill a bunch of them, and then hopefully some of them will drop keys, where we will need to collect 8 different keys and run up to the cage and open the cages in order to complete this quest, and then we can go ahead and do this like 7 more times. We can see that this Furbolg house was destroyed by one of the crystals of the Exodar, which is definitely not a good thing at all.
I need to get closer. I don't have a target. It's too far away.
Here's our last captive that we need to free, and we can go ahead and turn in this quest back at Azurewatch. So let's go ahead and run all the way over there, and I need to remember to set my Hearthstone to Azurewatch because it's still at the crash site. Okay, let's skip past the quest turn in right now, and let's run into the inn. this destroyed pod from the Exodar, and let's chat with the innkeeper, and let's make this in your home. Except, okay, I finally have it set to Azure Watch when we are kind of almost done being in this area. But let's go ahead and chat with the Furbolg, and we can go ahead and pick up this new quest to chat with High Chief Stillpine at Stillpine Hold, where we got a lot of reputation there. And we can go ahead and run north straight out of Azure Watch, and we can go ahead and head to one of the last two giant areas on Azuremyst Isle that we have not been to yet. There's a bunch of small areas around here that we will be exploring as well, but we can see way off there in the distance, we can see the opening to like a massive cave, and we can see just in front of it are a bunch of different things related to Furbolgs, where we can see some totems here, and we will see some houses coming into view in just a second, and we can also see some more crystals all around here, and also some roads, including ones that look like were built by the Night Elves long ago, which is very interesting. But we have these bigger totems right here, and now we can see some of these buildings coming into view, and High Chief Stillpine is right over here, where we can see just a bunch of Furbolgs all around this area, and we just leveled up to level 13, and we can see that they are defending themselves against a bunch of Owlkin that have moved into their hold. So let's go ahead and chat with High Chief Stillpine, and we can complete this, where we have now unlocked 2 different quests around here, I believe. If we run over here, we have a leatherworking trainer and a skinning trainer, which is fun. But let's go ahead and pick up these quests, and we can go ahead and do them, where we are going to go west and east of Stillpine Hold, where let's go ahead and go east first, because we have our special warrior quest that we picked up last episode that we can do, where we are going to fight some Ravagers. And this is something that I think I've hinted at last episode and also in the first episode, where Ravagers are creatures that are native to Draenor. They are not native to Azeroth, and on Azeroth you can really only find them here. Maybe in future expansions they come into like different areas on Azeroth for like whatever reason, but as of the Burning Crusade we can only find them here in the Azuremyst Isle, and I think there might be some in Bloodmist Isle too, I'm not 100% sure, but they are basically escaped specimens from the Exodar that we can go ahead and deal with, because they're not supposed to be a part of Azeroth's flora and fauna. We have this Ravager cage key, where we have to come over here to this Death Ravager that is inside this cage. And you can see Bloodmist Isle way off in the distance, with this other island just off the coast of it, which is a very cool sight. But let's go ahead and deal with the Death Ravager, where we can go ahead and just attack him like 5 times or something, and we should be able to kill him. And we have completed that quest, where we have to go back to Azure Watch in order to turn that in, but we'll do that later. Well, let's go ahead and just continue fighting all these Ravagers, and we need to fight a bunch in order to get all the Ravager hides we need for this quest. We only need 1 more hide, so let's see if we can get it from this specimen, and then we can move on. But fighting Ravagers is just really fun because of the reasons that I explained, because they are not creatures you normally find on Azeroth, and this is a little bit of a hint to the Burning Crusade and End of the Burning Crusade, where there are a bunch of Ravagers around Draenor, or more specifically Outland, that you can fight. Outland being the ruined remnants of Draenor after Draenor was ripped apart. But let's go ahead and fight this one really quickly, because we got our last hide. And let's go ahead and mount up and come this way. Murlocs, why here? Why now? Which that's a question that I'm sure many people have asked, as they are running through the world and suddenly they get swarmed by a bunch of Murlocs. A little bit of a sneak peek to what's coming up in the next episode. We can see the entrance to Bloodmist Isle, or the main entrance, I guess. You could swim across anywhere you want, really, but this is the main entrance with these bridges onto the other isles there, and we will be coming here next episode. But let's go ahead and continue this way, where we can see the massive mountain that the Exodar crashed next to, and you actually go up to the top of the mountain on the right side right there, I believe, as a shaman in order to unlock your air totem at like level 30 in classic World of Warcraft. I'm not sure what it is in Cataclysm and in retail WoW, but we can see along the coast right here are a bunch of Murloc huts and a bunch of Murlocs, where there's Murgurgurla that we can go ahead and fight, and maybe this Murloc will drop something that we can go ahead and turn in at Stillpine Village, because I feel like There's something here that drops that we turned in, if my memory serves correctly. Girth's Dignity. Let's go ahead and get rid of this bowl because I'm low on inventory space. And we just got to this quest where it's a piece of fur that Girth had lost in his struggle with the Murlocs. So we can go ahead and return that. But all along here are some Stillpine grain, and I think we can also get some from the Murlocs themselves. Go ahead and delete that, and we're gonna have to delete something else here. Actually, it just goes straight into our inventory, and I guess that's fine. Where, oh, this Murloc's attacking us. Let's go ahead and kill him really quickly. There's a bunch of Murlocs all along this coast, and there's like 3 sitting right next to each other there. But let's go ahead, come here, because I see 1 sack of grain right here, and they seem to be mostly up against the huts. So if you're coming through here, just go ahead and run from hut to hut to hut, and you could probably complete this quest pretty quickly without killing too many Murlocs. And I just got another bag there. That's very nice. So we've unlocked 12 more slots in our inventory space so far this episode, which is good, and I guess we're getting very, very lucky. And I just got Stillpine grain from the Murloc that I killed, so that feels very lucky as well. So we're probably almost done with completing this. Another Stillpine grain, that's good with me. Let's see if we can get a 5th one from this hunter, and that is not the case. But I see 2 sacks of grain on the northernmost hut right here, but we might have to kill a few Murlocs in order to get one, where there's some to our left and some to our right. But it looks like we're good, so let's go ahead, grab this very quickly, and then sneak away into the woods. Leave the Murlocs on the beach. We gotta be careful of the root threshers and the night stalkers around here. But let's go ahead and just run back to Stillpine Hold because we've completed these 3 quests. We have new talents that we can put into our talent tree, where we have our warrior tree where all warriors will put talents into here, and then we have our arms tree where only arms warriors will put talents into here. So let's go ahead, and we have to start with Mortal Strike so we can unlock this special ability, and then we can get Overpower, which we have to unlock, which we can get that special ability. And then coming over here, we have a lot of different options. So Impending Victory will replace a Victory Rush. So currently our Victory Rush will cause damage and heal you for maximum health, and you can use it after killing an enemy, and this will deal more damage and heal you for more, and you can use it after killing an enemy, but it has a 25-second cooldown. So I think maybe it's worth it. But Heroic Leap, okay, this is a really fun ability. Let's pick this. Leap through the air towards a target location, slamming down with a destructive force to deal 12 physical damage to enemies within 8 yards. So we have 3 brand new abilities that we can go ahead and have on our skill bar here. Let's move that there. And then I have so many different things. Maybe I'll put that there, and we can go ahead and just test out our new abilities next time we're in combat. But let's go ahead and turn in these quests. Girth's Dignity, we got Heavy Plate Leggings, which is a massive upgrade to what we previously had equipped. And we can go ahead and get some new armor for our chests. So let's go ahead and equip that. And now that we've completed these quests, we have a quest over here that is unlocked, as well as a general goods merchant, which maybe I should go ahead and just sell a bunch of stuff really quickly. Then we can chat with Kurz the Revelator, where we want to kill Kirkin and bring back Kirkin's hide, where we also have these 2 quests right here. So we can slay 9 crazed wildkin, and then we can go ahead and search Stillpine Hold for clues. So we're going to find out about the corruption. Kirkin is very interesting. After the crystal storm had subsided, a beast of myth appeared in our village, brought here by the invading wildkin. This beast, the Kirkin, laid waste to our village. Many Stillpine were slain in defense of our lands by this fiend, and many have since lost their lives attempting to subdue the beast. In my visions, I have seen one defeat the Kirkin. The one must be you, Athasel. You are our only hope. Enter Stillpine Hold and slay the Kirkin. Bring me his hide as proof of deed. So let's go ahead and lay siege to Stillpine Hold, and let's try to take back the Furbolgs home, where the Owlkin moved in here and they were crazed by the Crystal Storm, aka the Exodar, and now they are running rampant all around here. And we can go ahead and just deal with them, where we leveled up to level 14, so there we go. And let's go ahead and look at our new abilities, where we have Heroic Leap here, which is so much fun, and you can just basically use it, and then you can target somewhere and you leap to your enemy. And this is just a fantastic movement skill ability, and I think we can do some like fun crazy things, like we can leap like up there with it. We can test it out when it's off cooldown, but it's just a nice mobility ability, and it will also deal damage if you land directly onto them. Where we also unlocked Overpower, which is just a basic damage ability that cannot be blocked, dodged, or parried, so we probably just want to use it off cooldown because it gives us some rage. Then we have Mortal Strike that will deal damage and reduces the effectiveness of healing on the target by 50% for 10 seconds. So this is like a more powerful ability of our Slam, so we probably want to use this like off cooldown as long as we have rage, and then we can use Slam in between. Here's Chieftain that we can go ahead and fight. So let's go ahead and deal with him, Overpower, and then we can execute. So we have definitely unlocked many powerful abilities, but let's drop down here.
I need to target something.
And let's charge this way, where we can see the Kurkin right there. A very cool beast, a two-headed dog basically. And we can go ahead and just start dealing a ton of damage to the Kurkin and defeat him. And we can see this blood crystal. So let's go ahead to finish the Kurkin, kind of like one of the two bosses in here, where the other boss was the Chieftain. And let's go ahead and interact with the blood crystal, because this seems to be what is corrupting everything in here. So it radiates a sickly aura that seeps into the water of the cave, and the crystal appears to be a piece of the Exodar. Something has gone terribly wrong with this crystal, however, as it is blood red and rapidly dissolving into the water supply of the cavern. This may explain the unusually aggressive behavior of the creatures in Azuremyst. So we can return to High Chief Stillpine, and we got attacked by a bunch of crazed wildkin as we did this. So let's go ahead and kill all the wildkin, and then we can go up there and we can kill some more wildkin. But normally, in order to get up there, we will have to like run around, and I think, not 100% sure, but I think we can use our Heroic Leap. So let's do that. No target and line of sight. So I guess it just depends on the area, and I guess there's no line of sight here specifically. So let's go ahead and run this way. Let's try using it up here, because we should have line of sight here. No path available. Okay, I thought we could use this in more places than we actually can, but it looks like, oh, we can, oh, I almost fell off. We can use it there, so that's good. So let's go ahead and kill this crazed wildkin. We got some water barrels right here that we can go ahead and get some refreshing spring water from, that we can just sell for a little bit of copper. And this is the last crazed wildkin that we need to kill, so let's go ahead and do just that, and then we can return back down to Stillpine Hold. Or I guess we're inside Stillpine Hold, right outside Stillpine Hold. And since we leveled up, we could get Bounding Stride, reduces the cooldown of Heroic Leap by 15 seconds, and Heroic Leap now increases your movement speed by 70% for 3 seconds, which is nice. So it's about to come off cooldown. So if we just use this, we can leap forward, and then we have some increased movement speed. So it just basically makes this ability like a lot better as far as movement goes. Let's go ahead and turn in this quest, and we can go ahead and bring the hide over to the leatherworker over there. We got Stillpine the Younger. We can go ahead and turn this in, and then High Chief Stillpine. And Stillpine the Younger says, Stillpine Raiders, the time to strike is at hand, charge! But we can go ahead and complete this quest, and then we can return to the Exarch in Azure Watch, where the prophecy has come to pass, and a new age of prosperity begins for the Stillpine. So we have helped the Stillpine reclaim the hold, and they are now charging in order to clear out any of the remaining Owlkin, and they can have their home back. So we have done a lot to help out the Furbolgs here, and we have made a good ally in the process. But we need to report back to Azure Watch to report about the blood crystal. But before we do that, let's go ahead and pick up the Kurkin's hide, where I thought we got like a piece of armor for doing that, but it looks like it is not. I guess the next step we have is to return to Azurewatch, where we have those 2 quests to turn in. And we got these fortified wrist guards, a small upgrade to what we currently had, and then everything else in my inventory I'll probably just sell. Here's our warrior trainer, so we can go ahead and complete this quest, and we can get a new quest where we can find Bahamut at the trader's tier of the Exodar. So we can go ahead and learn some more powerful things from the trainer inside of the Exodar, it looks like, which we will be heading to very soon. Let's go ahead and chat with the Exarch, and we can go ahead and turn in this quest. And I forgot to read the quest, where he said, visions, you say, interesting, and this prophecy has come to pass, but you say they saw the power core of the Exodar, and Oros was also in the vision. What can it mean? What can it mean indeed? But when we look at Azuremyst Isle, we have now pretty much completed all of the quests in this zone, where we completed everything around Stillpine Hold, Azurewatch, Ammon Vale, Odysseus' Landing, and all the other areas around here. But there's just one big area left to explore, so let's go ahead and start exploring just that. The Exodar. I thought there were more Furbolg quests up here, but I guess my memory did not serve me correctly there. But we can go ahead and finally head to the capital city of the Draenei, basically a giant crash ship in Azuremyst Isle that the Draenei are just living inside of. And we have the different parts of the ship found all throughout these isles that we can see that the Draenei are using parts in order to sleep in, and then other parts like the crystals are not being the best thing for the environment around here. But we have these really cool looking Exodar peacekeepers, and we are now in the Exodar, on the outskirts of the Exodar. And if you look at Azuremyst Isle, there is one area over here left that we need to explore, so maybe I'll just quickly run over here just so we can have explored all of the Azuremyst Isle. And I think this is mostly just like a bonus area where there's not really anything going on here, but there is a crashed pod just like the one over here on like the eastern side of the island, and I think there's really nothing going on here, but maybe we'll get a quest that I'll have to go turn in. We have Pod Cluster that we have just explored, and I guess there's another area just west of here, so this is also a part of the Exodar over here, so I guess this is a good timing. But let's go ahead and follow the road to the slightly interesting area right here, because this is the area that we will use to leave Azuremyst Isle when we are done with Azuremyst Isle and Bloodmist Isle, where we can see some night elves here and some night elf docks, where we will have a boat that will show up here at Valar's Birth that will take us to Kalimdor proper. And we also have a back entrance to the Exodar, but let's go ahead and head back this way, where I didn't earn the achievement because I already have the achievement unlocked on my account, but we have unlocked every single area of Azuremyst Isle on our map that we can see right here. So the last big area that we have to explore, as I've said, is the Exodar, and we have this quest over here, which is the start of our adventures in Bloodmist Isle. So let's go ahead and skip that and come through the main entrance, where we have some peacekeepers here that are very cool looking. And we can see this entire area is super cool, and it just looks like a ship that has crashed and is basically kind of fallen apart and is barely stable, but is stable enough for people to live in, where we can come into this absolutely gorgeous area known as the seat of the Naru, which is just fantastic. But there are a bunch of different areas all around here, and we can go ahead and explore them all, where we have an Exodar quartermaster right here whom we can chat with to buy an Exodar tabard, which will be important if we ever want to do dungeons, but we can equip it just to have a cool tabard skin that we can rock as we run around the road. But we have this Exodar satchel we can eventually buy, and this cape of Exodar that's not really useful for us, but the satchel might be nice. We have this Hero's Call board with this Hero's Herald that is going to send us to the Battle for Azeroth expansion, and if we interact with the board, we can see we could do the Legion expansion, or we could do the Warlords of Draenor expansion, or we can go chat with Chromie to do other expansions, but I'm going to ignore all that. Where we have the Tradesman here for our Warrior quest, where we can go ahead, or no, this is actually for our Flight Path quest, so we can go ahead and find Stephanos at the seat of the Naru. So let's go ahead and come back this way, where he is right here, the Hippogriff Master, and we can go ahead and turn this quest in, and then we can go ahead and head back to Azure Watch, where as we did that, we leveled up to level 15, which is fun, and I can improve my execute, or we could get die by the sword, increase our party or parry chance by 100% and reduce all damage you take by 30% for 8 seconds. That might be nice. Or overpower increases the damage your next mortar strike or cleave by 30%, stacking up to 2 times. I'm not sure what the best one is. Let's go with martial prowess. I'll probably unlock this one as well. That seems good. But let's go ahead and just explore maybe the entirety of the Exodar, why not? Where we can see that there are some artificers over here that are trying to repair that area or dig out in that area. But in the seat of the Naru, it is named the seat of the Naru for a very specific reason, and that is because it is a seat of the Naru, which the Naru are very powerful, like light-infused entities that are incredibly important, and we see them a lot in like the Legion expansion and the Burning Crusade expansion, where the Draenei are basically blessed by the Naru, and they gain a lot of powers from the Naru, where we have Oros right here, a very, very, very cool looking entity that we can see just hanging out right here, who is at the center of the Stillpine's vision. Over here we have the Traders tier, where this is basically just like the massive crafting area here in the Exodar, and we need to come over here for our warrior quest, where we need to go all the way up there, and I think there's a staircase right there. So just a really cool area, but a lot of people don't like the Exodar, and mostly because it's just in a really random and inconvenient spot, and that is definitely true, and I definitely don't visit here a lot. But here's the warrior trainer. So let's go ahead and pick one of these items where I'm not sure if we want any of them really, but maybe Mercenary's Clout. Let's go ahead and get that equipped right there so we can see this new two-handed hammer. And we have a quest to head to Stormwind and speak with the warrior trainer in Old Town. So maybe I'll just pick that quest up. I'm not entirely sure what this leads to, but we can go ahead and just have it there for when we want to go to Stormwind. And I clicked on it and it opened Hellfire Peninsula from Outland, which is interesting. Oh, you know what? It says take the portal from the Stair of Destiny to Stormwind optional. So this is a really fun piece of trivia, and we can see this mechanic be really, really interesting. So with the Burning Crusade expansion, we have the introduction of Outland, this entire area right here, this continent with 7 zones that you can explore. But alongside that, we saw the introduction of 4 additional zones, Azuremyst Isle and Bloodmist Isle for the Draenei here in Kalimdor, and then we have Eversong Woods and Ghostlands here in the Eastern Kingdoms for the Blood Elves. And then we see at the end of the Burning Crusade, we also had the Isle of Quodanis introduced to the game, where the entirety of the Eastern Kingdoms is basically in one world space. But then we also have Ghostlands and Eversong Woods and the Isle of Quodanis that are technically in the Eastern Kingdoms, but they are in a separate world space that was created specifically for the Burning Crusade expansion. So you would load from the Eastern Kingdoms to Kalimdor, 2 separate world spaces. You would load from the Eastern Kingdoms to the world space that the Ghostlands and Eversong Woods are in, which are 2 separate world spaces, where the Eversong Woods, the Ghostlands, the Isle of Quodanis, the Bloodmist Isle, and Azuremyst Isle are part of the Outland world space. So while they are, in lore in these areas of Azeroth, they are mechanically part of Outland, which is in lore a different area of the world. And you can actually break out of Outland in like older versions of the game and run into like Azuremyst Isle or Eversong Woods from like Hellfire Peninsula, which is like breaking the game type of thing. And you can find the other areas as a part of Outland. So what's happening right now is we have take the portal from the Stair of Destiny to Stormwind, where since we are currently in Azuremyst Isle, which is part of the Outland world space, it is suggesting that we go to Hellfire Peninsula and use the portal located here to return to Stormwind, versus the mechanical way we would want to do this in Azeroth, where we have Kalimdor. We would want to take the boat over here and then take the boat from here to Stormwind. So that's kind of just a fun random rant and a bit of trivia. Where here we have the Vault of Lights, where this is a cool area where we can see a variety of different demons introduced with the Burning Crusade, and also some that we can see from vanilla World of Warcraft as well, where we can just see a bunch of different demons that you can fight throughout the expansion. And if we run up here, we have a very, very cool spot because we have the Prophet Villain, the leader of the Draenei.
Not all who wander are lost. We welcome your help.
As we attempt to gain the help of the peoples of this world against the Burning Legion, we must also learn to live peaceably among them. Please keep this in mind as your journey takes you throughout Azeroth. May the light guide you. And we can see that he has 4 very cool looking vigilant defenders around him, where Villain is an incredibly important lore character and one of the biggest characters in World of Warcraft, who plays an integral part in the Burning Crusade and also the Legion expansion. We can see some duality between those 2 expansions. The last big area we have to explore is right here, the Crystal Hall, where this is a big shaman area, and there's also like inscription stuff from Wrath of the Lich King and a few other things around here, but just a bunch of shaman things going on, where there's like a shrine to each of the elements in this area, which is fun. But now that we've completed all the quests we had to do here in the Exodar, and as we've explored all the Exodar, we currently have 3, technically 4 different quests. So let's go ahead and take a hippogriff back to Azurewatch, I think, where we can go ahead and return to Azurewatch and deliver the supplies. And then we have a quest to go to Stormwind, which we will do later. And then we have this quest that is going to take us to Bloodmist Isle, where the Hand of Argus could use a Draenei like you, where we have now completed basically everything here in Azuremyst Isle. And now we have the second zone of Bloodmist Isle that we can begin exploring next episode, where we can see that there are 8 chapters in Bloodmist Isle that we can complete, and I've completed them on other characters. Where starter zones don't have the chapters like other zones have. But let's go ahead and run into the inn really quickly, where we have the innkeeper, which I do have my Hearthstone set here now, and we can go ahead and deliver this, and we can complete this quest. And with that, we have now officially completed basically everything here in Azuremyst Isle, which is really, really cool. And maybe I will go ahead and just fly back towards the Exodar as we go ahead and call this episode good here, where it has been fun exploring Azuremyst Isle, and I am incredibly excited for the next episode, where we can go ahead and explore the Bloodmist Isle, because there is a lot of stuff in this area that is really cool, and the ending to this zone is pretty incredible. So I'm excited to get to that point. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode, and I hope you all are enjoying the series, and go ahead and let me know what exactly you would like to see from this series moving forward. But I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves, and remember, as always, to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in the world of Azeroth. Goodbye.